I think every young girl wants to go on the stage. I went to see Les Miserables in London when I was quite young, and I thought it was absolutely awesome. I was totally inspired, and I definitely wanted to be Gavroche, which is the boy actually, but I think that's because I was a tomboy. I think my first role was in a Gilbert and Sullivan, and I played the part of Ruth. And I thought Ruth was a pretty cool chick, actually, because she did the sort of the old woman bit, so you got to play the character. But also, you got to be a pirate, and I wanted to be a pirate, so it was great because I could wield a sword around, and I had the gun, and I could be one of the boys too. I think auditions are probably the most nerve-wracking because everyone is really looking at you and judging you. So I think it can be quite tough. I'm always incredibly nervous, no matter even if it's my friends on the panel. I would just think it's quite a traumatic experience, really. But generally, you just do the best you can, and you just don't take it too hard if you don't get it. Really, just try for another one. Well, I think actors and actresses do take it obviously very seriously because it's very hard to find work, and everything could mean the reason that you can actually live or not live, whereas we do it just simply because we love doing it. That's in its very word, amateurs, because we love it. We have the passion for music, and we make such good friends. We're in it for probably a different reason, just to have a really good time. I've had a couple of careers. My first career upon leaving university was going into international marketing, and I managed to travel the world and sort out a lot of things, which was absolutely fascinating. Then I moved to America and lived in America for a while, and then came back, and I retrained to be a teacher. And whilst I was doing my training, I spent a fantastic year just temping with the Forestry Commission. And so now I teach for the Forestry Commission, so that means taking children out into the woods, telling them all about the wonderful wildlife and the trees and how we must look after it for future generations. I auditioned for the role, and I desperately wanted this one. It was the song that was it just did it for me. I think Paul's written the best song, and I thought, I've got to have this role. So I practiced and I practiced. Really hard. I don't know quite how you practice being ugly, but yeah. Well, I think to start off with, I was probably seeing the role in a slightly different perspective, more sort of comical sort of thing. And I think the directors really wanted it a little bit more sinister. So hopefully I've managed to sort of balance the sinister bit, but at the same time I can have a laugh for the audience as well, so they know that actually, I'm having a laugh too. Oh, they love it. The children always grab all my clothes and they dress up, and they know my songs better than I do. But it's just very worrying when some of the words are just slightly risque and my little one walks into nursery singing it. They wonder what sort of background my children have. I think he just accepts that, we both have different hobbies as well. Some things we do together, some things, you prefer to do by yourself. And yes, he's very supportive. He's not musical at all himself, but he'll always come along to the last night and cheer me on with my rest of my friends. My husband actually doesn't notice because he's not here, unfortunately. He's been sent away with the military to Afghanistan for a year. So I'm very much on my own, and this is part of what I do to sort of get through that long time of separation. It's great for me because I love singing, I'm passionate about singing, and I love music, but more especially it means that I can get out of the house and I can make friends and I can have a good time, and it just makes you really feel good about yourself when you could actually get quite depressed. I think it's very important to be very organised. Because I have to say, it's made me really appreciate what it's like to be a single working mother. It's really, really tough because the buck stops with you. But it's worth it. It's so, so worth it just to say, if you have that commitment and you're going to go out and you're going to have a good time, yeah, that's the best thing. You will have a good time. You can't fail to enjoy yourself, especially after show week when you've really got to know everybody, so well. You've made real good new friends, and you'll end up going to say, "Oh, should we do the next show then?" And it just continues, and yeah, you really look forward to the next show that you do with them. I've considered straight plays, but I think you don't quite get the same sort of camaraderie that you get with musicals, and it just doesn't give you that buzz. I think with the music, being a very musical person myself, it's the music that is everything to me. Dancing, I have to say, I'm not brilliant at all, but it's really the singing and the music which does it. And once you get that band, you hear the band for the first time, oh wow, that's fantastic. I think it's meant as entertainment, but also I think there are a few things that can make people think. For example, the relevance of Ofsted. Are they really benefiting schools? Is it really benefiting children? I think that's something worthwhile to explore. I think mixing up of social classes, that's always been a very political agenda. I think the more people mix, the more people can appreciate what other people's needs, wants, aspirations are. So the more that you mix, probably the better for this world and us understanding each other. Gosh. Well, Midsummer Night's Dream and Bottom. Because it's a fabulous role. I think that would be great from the comedy value. And can we do sort of transgenders? I hope so. And the other one would be Twelfth Night and Malvolio, because what a fabulous character he is. Yes, that would be absolutely brilliant. Those would be my two roles, Bottom and Malvolio.